Hey, welcome to Edgy Blades. I'm Edgy, and these are my knives. This one here I bought from Amazon, and this is the Miki Camping Pocket Folding Japanese Knife. It definitely deserves a much better name than the one it was given, but nevertheless, it's a pretty great knife. And it is a Higonokami style knife, where it's a front flipper. But what's nice about this one is it does have a liner lock and a deep right side tip up carry pocket clip, which has got a nice blackened look to it. And also, this here is running on ceramic ball bearings. Now, your typical Higonokami would be one that is like this here, which is more or less just one piece of steel that's rolled over and the blade is sandwiched in between and pinned down. It's a friction lock, and this one here I've had for years, and I gotta say, these are really, really hard use knives that are pretty much from my understanding, a workman's knife in Japan, and they are designed by one person that makes, or they are made by one person designated that makes these and has their maker mark signature on and so forth, and they're very inexpensive knife. I mean, you can get these for $10 or more depending on the size and quality of steels or choice of steels they make. Now this one here, just going into it, is what they call blue steel, which is a sanmai steel, which has got the soft steel that's sandwiched with the hard steel there, and then they forge it. Now with the Miki, they've done the same thing, but they're using a steel that's called SLD-Magic. And I didn't really know much about SLD-Magic, but what I did learn is that it is a high-performance cold work tool steel that's patented by Hitachi, and these are made in Japan. So you got yourself a real Japanese knife here at a really great price with all the upgrades that the original Higonokami there was just begging to have. And this is really a nice sized knife. I mean, overall we are looking at 8.11 inches with a 3.46 inch blade. So the thickness on it is a generous 0.13 inches, and the whole thing weighs 4.5 ounces. You got some really nice G10 scales on there, and they've got their maker mark there on the pivot, and on the other side you've got this collared pivot as well. So there's not a lot of stamped markings on it, except for the type of steel that it is, and Miki's name. Now, as you can see, with the way they did that blade, it is got the, I guess, a sanmai type of forging that they did, where they do have the softer steels that are sandwiched with the hard steel for the edge. So that really gives it a lot of hard usability without worrying about having a soft edge. I mean, this is comparable, I would say, to what I've learned is like a D2 type of steel, but it is high performance, so you could really do some hard use cutting with it, and it does come down to a screaming sharp edge. It is a razor, and it's just a real fidget friendly knife too, because even if you're not a big front flipping action type of person, because of those ceramic ball bearings, I mean, it takes nothing to flip this. However, the D10 is strong enough that you can't shake it open, and they give you enough there to really just be able to clear it, and it's very comfortable to use. Speaking of comfort, So is the handle. I mean, it's got the neutral grip there, but you've got plenty of access to the liner on the liner lock, which does come to a very nice, good locking line up there. And the whole thing is centered very nicely. And what's nice about this one also is that some of these knives tend to have the blade a little more exposed here. So if you were to run your finger there, run your finger along here, I mean, you might cut yourself, but this one is not the case here. I mean, not that I would know that you would want to do that kind of thing, but some people, you know, depending on how they grip and handle a knife, that is a concern, and not one with this one here. The Mikis are very comparable to another knife brand called Katsu, but I gotta say I'm quite pleased with this one, and it is sharp. I mean, this is, just to give you an example, I mean, it is super sharp. And I'm not even really trying, but as you can see, the thing is a laser. And it's really a beautiful knife, too, with that Hammond that you can see from the forging that they've done on it. So it is very well made. It's a good sized knife. And because of that weight, 4.5 ounces, it just doesn't feel like some light, flimsy knife. And it does have the steel liners, which are milled, that you can see. So the whole thing is really well built nicely. And yeah, you got the screws here that are showing there, but this is a good pocket clip. Unfortunately, it is right side tip up only carry, so, but nevertheless, it's a really nice one and super fun to work with. I mean, you can even come around this side and get it. And it's just a real fidget fun knife, but it's a hard use knife. And if you like, you know, Japanese blades like the swords and so forth that have that type of Hammond on it, or Haman, however you want to pronounce it, it's really cool. But it's a good knife, and I'm pretty impressed with it. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I'll let you get one last look at it here. I just wanted to give a decent quick review of it. It's not got a lot of reviews on YouTube that I've seen so far, but it definitely should. It's just a really solid, good knife. And you could do some hard use work with it, I'm sure. Now, because it is a carbon steel, you might want to keep it oiled or especially dried after using, but a nice thin edge like this, you could just strop up nicely. And, I mean, it is a razor, but it does have some considerable thickness to it. And I like how it's a little thick right here and kind of just narrows down, so it's not flimsy by any means. And it's a good knife. So, and it's a lot of fun for a knife. So there you go. This is the Miki, and it is in the Higonokami style traditional Japanese knife, made in Japan, and they only go for about 65 bucks on Amazon. And one of the things I also noticed was if you go on Amazon, sometimes you can get that little box there. This was actually offered at like 10% off. So depending on when you get on there or if you want to see, I got this less than 65 bucks. But honestly, with the quality of build and design that this was and its functionality and it's just overly impressive for the amount of money for what you're getting. And I would even say that is probably worth twice the amount. Just if I were to see this for 120, which I've seen knives like this for, and with the same materials and so forth, this is definitely a steal. It's a really good knife. If you like this kind of knife, I mean, it is, you can do piercing with it too, as well as some heavy duty cutting. And it's really nice to have this type of style knife in a liner lock, so it's not something that you feel like you could have close on you. There is jimping right here. It kind of just hides right into the handle of it, but it's not uncomfortable. And you can come around and get that same action there from access to the liner. And the ceramic ball bearings on this just is super smooth. It's a nice knife. And that's about all I can really say about it. And I do hope that you consider liking, subscribing to the channel. It's a small channel, but it means a lot. I do this for you, and I don't get nothing out of this, no kickbacks or anything like that. These are, again, my knives that I buy and I review. So I'm giving an honest review of it, and this is a decent one. And there you go. And that is the Miki. So hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe once again, and feel free to comment. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.